So all these demons, they thought they were fooling Krishna by their disguise, but he understood. As soon as Pralambasura got there, he decided he would arrange a game, and he would arrange for Balaram and Pralambasura to be alone together, and Balaram to take care of Pralambasura. And so these people, the demons, they think that they can outdo Krishna, but it's not actually Another big demon thought he could outwit Krishna, and that was Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to get the benediction from Lord Brahma that he couldn't be killed, that he could live forever. And Lord Brahma said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Hiranyakashipu, but even I cannot live forever. The great Brahma, even I have to die. So there's no chance I can give you the boon that you can live forever." So Hiranyakashipu was very determined. So he said, "Well, we'll just give you the boon that I won't be killed during the day, and I won't be killed during the night. And then give me the boon that I won't be killed by any animal or human being. Then give me the boon that I won't be killed inside or outside." So in this way, he was thinking that he would create a situation in which he could not be killed. But Lord Nrsimhadev was more intelligent. He created a situation where he was killed. And he also said that he couldn't be killed by any weapon, weapon known to mankind. And so Lord Nrsimhadev, he didn't kill him during the day or the night at the border, the sandhya, between the day and night. He didn't kill him inside or outside, but he killed him on the steps of the palace. He could not be ascertained to be either a man nor an animal. He was half man, half animal. Therefore, he was killed neither by man nor animal. In this way, the Lord, because he's omniscient, he knows everything. He could create a situation where he could kill the demon and at the same time keep the promise that he made to Brahma. And so, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord also used his omniscient qualities in the service of his devotees. There's one Leela where there was five arrows that Bhishma was going to use to kill the Pandavas. These arrows had the potency to kill the Pandavas. And Duryodhana, the day before Bhishma was going to kill the Pandavas, he decided to keep these arrows for safety. And then, Krishna advised Arjuna to go to Duryodhana and to beg in charity and beg for these five arrows. So it's one of the principles of the Kshatriyas that if somebody asks for something in charity, that they give it. So Duryodhana said, "Yeah, sure, whatever you want, I'll give you." And I just want these five arrows, that's all. And so there's five arrows meant to kill the Pandavas who were taken away from the Kurus. And there was another pastime related to the Mahabharata. And there was this demon, Jarasandha, who was posing a great problem. He actually did a great service for Krishna. Krishna came to eliminate the demoniac soldiers. So what Jarasandha would do is he would arrange an army and he would attack Krishna. And Krishna and his warriors would kill everybody in the whole army except for Jarasandha. And Jarasandha would return home frustrated. And he would decide that he just had bad luck. That the stars were against him. that time, and he would arrange another army, and he would go and attack Krishna. And then Krishna would fight, and he would wipe out everybody on Jarasanda's side, and Jarasandha would return home frustrated. And he would decide that it was just some fluke. And he would arrange a whole other army, and he would go, and he would fight Krishna. And Krishna and his men would wipe out everybody on Jarasandha's army, and Jarasandha would return home. So this happened 14 more times, 17 times altogether. So because Krishna wanted to eliminate all the demoniac wars from the surface of the globe, that Jarasandha actually did him a great service, and by arranging all these armies for him to wipe out. But at the end, it was time for Jarasandha to also be wiped out. So they arranged that they were going to fight with Jarasandha. And so Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima, they disguised themselves as Brahmanas with the idea they would go to Jarasandha and they would beg for a fight, because he was very, despite being demoniac, he was very terrible to the Brahmanas. So they went there, and Jarasandha, because they had big muscles from carrying these, fighting with these arrows and carrying these bows all the time, Jarasandha had doubts whether they really were Brahmins. but because they approached him in the mood of a Brahmana, he decided to fulfill their request for charity anyway. And Krishna said, when Jarasandha asked, "Who are you anyway?" He said, "I'm your old adversary Krishna. This is Bhima and Arjuna. We've come to beg from you fight and charity." Jarasandha laughed at the craziness of the whole scheme. He said, he dismissed Krishna, saying one time Krishna, he actually ran away from the battlefield when Jarasandha, Kala, Yavana attacked him. So Krishna didn't take him seriously. Jarasandha didn't take Krishna seriously because of that. And Arjuna wasn't as strong as Jarasandha, but he felt that Bhima was a suitable combatant. So Bhima and Jarasandha, they fought for day after day after day, and it wasn't clear how Bhima was actually going to kill this demon. Apparently this demon had a very odd birth. It was born in two pieces, and this child who was formed of two pieces was thrown into the forest, and this witch known as Jara joined the two pieces of this child together, and it came to life as a child, Jarasandha, which means he was joined by Jara. And so Krishna, he gave a sign to Bhima. He took a stick and he ripped it apart down the middle, like that, indicating how this demon could be killed and so on. Bhima took one leg in one hand and one leg in the other, and just pulled Jarasandha apart and separated. In this way, he was victorious. And so Krishna gave him the clue because he knew the whole story of Jarasandha's birth and knew that that was his weakness. And therefore, Bhima was victorious when otherwise he had no clue how to attain victory. So Krishna's omniscient, and he uses his omniscience in the service of his devotees. Another point that's made here is that Krishna, he wanted to do two things at once. He wanted to save the boys, and at the same time he wanted to kill the demon. So that's another thing that Krishna often does. He often tries to do two things at once. Actually, when he came as Lord Chaitanya, he did two things at once. He established the Yuga Dharma, and he also relished the position of being a devotee. The idea was that Radharani, in their relationship, appears to be enjoying serving Krishna more than Krishna enjoys being Krishna. Krishna's the supreme enjoyer, but he noticed that Radharani was having a better time serving him than he was being served. So he wanted to come and relish the position of being a devotee. So Lord Chaitanya came to relish that mood of Radharani, and at the same time he introduced the Yuga Dharma. So it's also, in his original form as Krishna, he accomplished two things, at least two things at once, at different times. One time that came to mind was the story of Kalyavana. So Krishna is fighting this demon Kalyavana. And Kalyavana is a Yavana, he's untouchable. So he decides that he doesn't want to kill him by fighting him hand to hand. So he leaves the battlefield. So Kalyavana is chasing him. So he's chasing, and Krishna's running. Kalyavana runs faster, and Krishna runs faster. And Kalyavana runs faster, and Krishna runs faster. And Krishna leads him to a cave in the forest. So in this cave, there's this king named Muchakunda. Muchakunda was such a great fighter that he even fought on behalf of the demigods. And you have to be a really good fighter to fight the demigods. But he was such a good fighter. And he fought valiantly for a very, very long time, and he was completely exhausted. He was so exhausted that the only benediction he could think of asking for was the benediction of being able to sleep without being disturbed. And that if anybody disturbed him, that they would burn to ashes by his glance. That was, maybe sometimes we feel very exhausted and we feel like we don't want to be disturbed. So he was in that state. So he got that benediction. So Krishna led Kalyavana into this cave where Muchakunda was lying asleep. And he saw, it was dark, so he couldn't actually see very well, but he saw this person there, and he was thinking of as Krishna, so he kicked this person. But it wasn't, it was actually Muchakunda who woke up upon being kicked. He wasn't very happy about being kicked by Kalyavana. And he opened his eyes, staring at Kalyavana, and burned into ashes. In this way, Krishna got rid of Kalyavana. And he also showed some special mercy to this king Muchakunda, who was actually a great devotee of the Lord. So